Okay. Yeah, my opening words are actually about Scotland, and we're looking at Ireland, aren't we? Okay, Tom. Tell me when you're ready. Okay. Yeah, let's do one half, yes. What Scotland need tonight is not just victory, but victory in style. And one of the men they believe can provide that is Tommy Burns, the left-sided midfield player from Celtic, who wins his first cap. And they'll be hoping that Steve Archibald can produce the scoring form that helped Spurs to their FA Cup victory in his first season in Scotland. They're just 2 of 7 changes from the side that performed so disappointingly at Swansea on Saturday. And I must say that on paper this looks a more balanced side, though Ray Stewart will operate in midfield, not at full-back as he usually does for West Ham. Shall we just go with Jennings, because I think we're getting close, aren't we? Right. But one man who could spoil Scotland's night is Pat Jennings. He won't be overawed by Hampden Park. This is his 13th appearance here, and there are only 2 members of the Scots side who played more international matches on this ground. A check on the full Northern Ireland lineup shows why they are optimistic. It's a side with plenty of experience and the confidence of a very successful run over the last 18 months. Billy Hamilton will remember this ground with some affection. He scored the goal in that 1-1 draw here in March. Farewell performance in Britain for referee Pat Partridge. He has one more big game, a World Cup qualifier between Austria and Bulgaria next week, and then he retires. Check with him, with his linesman, and away we go with Scotland in the dark blue tops and white shorts, attacking the goal to our left. Northern Ireland in their traditional green. Here's Danny McGrain, the Scottish skipper. Archibald waiting in the middle. And that's the first corner of the game. And John Robertson goes over to join McGrain, so that may be that it's going to be a short corner that they'll work. Fish has gone forward, the tall central defender from Aberdeen. His clubmate Willie Miller stays back to cover. Robertson's corner didn't reach McLeish's head. So Miller's up and under. Touch then from Hartford, and that is a free kick. Right on the edge of the box, Archibald going down. So it's everybody back for Northern Ireland. All 11 in or around the penalty area. Pat Jennings making sure that he has got a clear view, and they're covering his left-hand post with 4 men, 5 men. Asa Hartford stands over the kick, and it cannons back from Stewart off the wall. Over goes Tommy Burns. Goal kick. Very pleasant evening in Glasgow. It was rainy yesterday and a bit showery this morning, and fairly fresh, but there's a bit more warmth in the air tonight. Hartford's header. Archibald. Robertson. Archibald in the middle. This is Sturrock. And for Northern Ireland, Martin O'Neill. Both sides claiming, the linesman gives it to Scotland. And Archibald can't be offside from the throw, but he's lofted the cross behind. And an apology from Steve Archibald, who didn't do so well once he'd got there. So in this opening phase, it's a bit of a containing operation by Northern Ireland as the Scots predictably come at them. Miller's header. Martin O'Neill. Jimmy Nicholl. Hamilton through the middle with the flicked header. Armstrong wasn't found. And for Scotland now it's Burns with the crossfield ball that's intercepted by Nelson. Robertson knocked off it. Scotland's throw. McGrain. Not a good one. Miller. Sturrock chasing. Just got about 10 minutes at the end of the game in Swansea on Saturday, did Sturrock. Archibald coming to meet it, but it's thrown for Sturrock. At his heels, McClelland. And Robertson showing his skill. Nice bit of work by John Robertson, but the cross headed away. But still Scotland. Archibald tried the flick, and Northern Ireland not very good at getting it out. McGrain. Sturrock again, seeing a lot of the ball. And that cross, I think, is a little too deep for Burns. Foul given. Frank Gray, who was on the receiving end. Gray now back with Leeds United, and Tommy Burns trying to go outside his man and was obstructed. Culprit Sammy McElroy, or rather Martin O'Neill. Free shot there again, calling, played low, and Stewart! He really is one of the cleanest strikers of the ball in the game today, and Ray Stewart celebrates his second appearance for Scotland with his first international goal. Simple free kick, played square. Stewart wasn't picked up, he had time, and how well he struck it. 5 minutes gone, and from the other angle it may look even better. Nelson robbed, ball still in play. John O'Neill. This should be the goalkeepers. They weren't going to leave it though for Thompson. It's knocked away to safety. Nelson, who has a good long throw, well capable of tossing it up towards the edge of the 6-yard area, which is exactly what he does, and McLeish gets it away with a good header. There was some pushing. The free kick is Scotland's. That goal that Ray Stewart scored, incidentally, was Scotland's 250th against Northern Ireland in the British Championship. Turned back by Jimmy Nicholl. It's very long from Jennings. Armstrong couldn't control it. It's now with Jimmy Nicholl. Miller's challenge. And then McGrain, Robertson, McGrain. And this is such a different looking Scottish side from the one that seemed so disorganised against Wales on Saturday. Stewart. O'Neill. Now Cochrane to run at McGrain, which is very much his game. And McGrain watched him, went in, didn't touch the ball as it happened, and Cochrane ran it out. But that'll be an interesting little duel as it develops. Cochrane against McGrain. Billy Thompson, the St Mirren goalkeeper, getting a chance for Scotland. His third cap. McClelland's header. McLeish covering behind Miller, but Miller adjudged to have fouled Billy Hamilton. So it'll be McElroy with the free kick to Martin O'Neill. Jimmy Nicholl. Touch back to him from McElroy. Cross was slightly deflected. Both sides claiming goal kick is the decision. Tommy Burns playing it out off Armstrong. Archibald unhappy about something. McClelland's header covered by Jimmy Nicholl. That was McLeish. And this is Chris Nicholl. Miller coming in on the back of his man, but not fouling him. Stewart playing it forward for Archibald. McGrain. Robertson operating deep on the touchline, as he does so effectively for Nottingham Forest. Cleach to McGrain, now Asa Hartford coming deep. And that's given away to McClelland. Scoops it up and out. McGrain, good long throw. Sturrock trapped it well. Couldn't get it through, though, to Archibald. Too many green shirts there. O'Neill, Chris Nicholl, Jimmy Nicholl calling. Here he is. McElroy's dummy didn't fool McLeish. Hartford. O'Neill's challenge. Hartford runs it out, but gets the throw. It must have touched O'Neill. It's Martin O'Neill operating in midfield. John O'Neill, no relation in the back four. McClelland's header, taken down by Armstrong. McElroy. Very easily read by McGrain, and this could be dangerous on the break. Two in the middle for Scotland. And Sturrock was the deep man, but the deflection gave Jennings a chance. And there was a foul anyway by Sturrock. Hartford's header, bad clearance. Archibald down to Burns. Frank Gray. Hartford. Gray still available. Burns preparing to take the touchline, but Nicholl has won the ball. Good run by Nicholl, but not a very good pass for his Manchester United teammate Sammy McElroy. Here's Armstrong. Hartford knew it was a foul. Put up his hand to show that he knew. And Jimmy Nicholl comes to tap the ball for O'Neill. Martin O'Neill. McClelland, Mansfield Town. Through 2 attempted challenges. Jimmy Nicholl gets a second attempt to cross. Martin O'Neill. McElroy, onside, flag stayed down. Covering though by McLeish. McElroy, and there was some holding going on there. I think the referee decided it was equal on both sides. Possibilities there for Hamilton. He couldn't quite get in quickly enough. Free kick given to Scotland. Just a shade of indecision in the Scottish defence, but no more than a quarter of a chance, and Ireland couldn't turn it to anything. Frank Gray. Miller. Chase for Sturrock, who's got a bit of pace. Chris Nicholl forcing him out, but can he now turn and cross? Yes, he can. Archibald far post against the bar, and a let-off for Northern Ireland. Perfect cross. Nice bit of work by Sturrock. Sturrock's left foot cross. Archibald drops back a pace or two. Header against the bar, down and out. Sturrock, who did very good work to set it up for him. Certainly making a good impression with his pace and control. And now a free kick for Scotland with Gray and Burns. This is Burns. There's no obstruction. That was perfectly fair by Martin O'Neill up to Armstrong. Jimmy Nicholl off on a run. Cochrane wide on the far side. And that's probably the ball. Yes, it is. Cochrane now measuring the cross and didn't get it off the ground. Robertson stumbles, McGrain takes over. Hartford, loose control, gets it back. Pass hit long for Sturrock to feed Archibald, and Archibald to find Burns. No, he doesn't. He overhit the pass. It was a good idea. It was a good break by Burns. The execution eventually undid it. It's Hartford putting it out. So we've been playing a quarter of an hour, and Scotland very much in charge. 1-0 they lead, and only the woodwork stopped them making it 2. Stewart the score. Hartford. Turn from Sturrock on to Burns. McGrain. Robertson. Miller. Burns, challenge from Martin O'Neill. Burns very cool and confident. Frank Gray. Miller has made a good run. Can he cross? Couldn't get the corner, nearly spun off. That's a bad clearance from Martin O'Neill. Stewart to McLeish. And Northern Ireland at the moment chasing shadows. McGrain. Archibald. The Scottish side mobile and confident and accurate in their passing. Hartford. That's not a good one, and McClelland gets it down for Jennings. It's McClelland from Mansfield Town. Robertson just clipped too hard, but Sturrock still prepared to chase. Sturrock. Nelson. Offside. Flag stayed down. Miller. McGrain's throw back to Billy Thompson, who really has had no chance to show his skills. Bad header from Jimmy Nicholl. Northern Ireland giving the ball away far too much for their own comfort. Stewart. McGrain. Scottish players showing themselves, wanting the ball. And then Chris Nicholl lured into the foul on Sturrock. Robertson. Stewart. Aim for Sturrock. And he gets it off Nelson's boot. Now Hartford with a chance to shoot, left foot. And a typical Pat Jennings save. Right on the edge of the 6-yard area. Foils Asa Hartford. Square ball from Sturrock, sets up Hartford. The gap was there, but Jennings was covering it. Cleach there to make the tackle. He was prepared to let the ball run out, but had to commit himself. Armstrong didn't enjoy the way he did it. McElroy, Cochrane leaving him to deal with the free kick with the aid of Sammy Nelson. Thompson's viewpoint of it, 2 men in the wall in front of him. And Nelson plays it. And it was Miller's header. And McGrain who saves it from going for the corner. Back pass was cut off. McGrain comfortably bringing the ball out. Sturrock. Sturrock, who was here in the Scottish Cup final recently, his side Dundee United beaten in the replay. Nelson shaping for another long throw. He's been practicing them mostly this season in Arsenal's reserves. It's a good long one too, but Miller met it, and McGrain hooks it on. Chris Nicholl, McLeish, centre-half to centre-half. Burns, Gray going outside him. Archibald, little flick pass wasn't crisp enough. Armstrong. Hartford getting back to cover and sending McLeish to take the wide man, but Martin O'Neill has room to play the cross. Wanted to get to the byline, and that let McLeish in. It needed an earlier ball. There was a moment there when the Scottish defence was not covering tight, but Northern Ireland didn't take the advantage. McGrain on the near post. McElroy leaving the corner for Cochrane to take. Burns, Jimmy Nicholl, offside flag. Hamilton, who was caught. Robertson. Miller. Ambitious, but it's worked. Found Gray. And Burns. Nice variety in the Scottish play, but a not very good pass from Miller. Broke that one down. Now here's Martin O'Neill getting in. McElroy going left, Cochrane on the far touchline. Armstrong points behind where Jimmy Nicholl comes in support. McClellan was showing himself but didn't get the pass, and Northern Ireland dallied too long. Now Archibald doesn't get there in time, and John O'Neill plays it back. Miller against Hamilton. Referee waves them on, although Hamilton went over, it wasn't a foul. Gets up a bit ruefully. It's very long from Thompson. John O'Neill's header, McClelland to Jimmy Nicholl. 2 Nicholls and 2 O'Neills in the Northern Ireland side. Offside gives Scotland a free kick. Jerry Armstrong, one of 2 or 3 players who were caught. McLeish to McGrain. Stewart steps over it, and so did Hartford, but he didn't mean to. Martin O'Neill. Cochrane available on the far side. Chance to go at McGrain again. A lot of room outside. And the cross comes over, and Gray was slightly in 2 minds there, and he might have done better to put it out. He gets a second chance and finds Burns. Foul given, a push by Burns on McElroy. Sammy McElroy. Two Manchester United men there, McElroy on the left and Jimmy Nicholl on the right. Waiting the far side, Hamilton. All run in to try and get Nelson with some spare space. It didn't work. The front men all came in, taking defenders with them, but there was still cover to pick up Nelson. Cochrane leaving it for McElroy to take over. Harassed by Sturrock, and Scotland get the throw. Hartford, touched away from him by McElroy. Defenders backpedaling. Armstrong and O'Neill, but he's wide. Good try. Very easy on that kind of volley to lean back and let it go over. Kept it down, but hit it wide. Nicholl and Archibald. Thompson. Little duel going on between Nicholl and Archibald, which Mr. Partridge thought was unfair. And Northern Ireland have already taken the free kick. Hamilton. McElroy. Cochrane. Offside, it was Nelson. Made the run. Spotted by the linesman. And offside. McGrain. Little back heel. Knew Robertson was there. Played it very effectively, and then Stewart's control let Scotland down. Handball and a free kick, and a word, I suspect, from Mr. Partridge to John Robertson. That's McClelland. Martin O'Neill, and Jimmy Nicholl has to go back to collect. Chris Nicholl. Interception by Miller for Burns. And Burns inside the defender, and Sturrock, for all his pace, can't catch it. The angle of the pass and the pace of the pass always beating him. Good idea though from Burns, just didn't quite get it right. Northern Ireland have seem now to have repulsed that early onslaught from Scotland, and are certainly beginning to compete on more even terms in midfield, which is where they were getting beaten when Scotland kept pouring forward. Chris Nicholl the header from Armstrong, gets it back from Hamilton, but offside. Jerry Armstrong, a Watford player. John O'Neill's header, then Chris Nicholl, and now Jimmy Nicholl. Cleach. Hamilton got there with him, and now it's McClellan bursting away. Tracked back by Gray, but he's got over the low cross. Miller clears. Straight on to the head of Martin O'Neill. Hamilton to McClellan, and that was a good cross onto Cochrane's head. But Cochrane got under it, hoping, I think, probably to loop it over the goalkeeper. The cross was measured quite well, and he met it very firmly, had to go over Miller's head, and then put it over the crossbar. Cochrane of Middlesbrough. Was McClelland. Burns. Cleach. Well, he certainly looked the genuine article tonight. McGrain to Miller. Well, it was technically offside, but no point in giving it. The ball in the hands of Thompson. Nicholl winning the duel against Archibald, then McClelland. Now it's McElroy. Nelson. Head down chase. Armstrong gets there. Still has Miller to beat, and he has support from Cochrane, but McGrain saw that. Quick slide in, and the Scottish skipper gave the throw, but that averted the danger. Northern Ireland coming forward again. McElroy. Armstrong. Good cover here by Scotland, forcing Ireland to go out and look for another route. Martin O'Neill, Chris Nicholl, Jimmy Nicholl. To McElroy. And once again, the Scottish defence too well organised to permit Northern Ireland a route through. We've been playing half an hour, Scotland leading 1-0. McLeish's header. Then Burns. And now McClellan for Ireland, and Stewart, a miss kick clear. McClellan, Nicholl. Frank Gray, Hartford making a run and spotted, but not found. Chris Nicholl's header. McClellan overhead. Cleach wins in the air, he's been winning a lot. McClellan. Cleach again. Stewart. Nobody willing to bring it down and put his foot on it. Sturrock got it under control for the benefit of Hartford, who then hit it too long and too straight. Mr. Partridge, meanwhile, going over to Wicker. Difficult to identify upside down. John O'Neill. And the players taking the advantage of a sponge, suggesting that it is fairly warm out there tonight. Billy Bingham on his feet, the Northern Ireland manager, who has steered his side into a very good phase, only one defeat in their last 12 games. And O'Neill back on his feet and in the game. Archibald, Martin O'Neill, Nelson. Chris Nicholl, Martin O'Neill, Jimmy Nicholl, Hamilton. Jimmy Nicholl again. McElroy making a run from left to right. The header from Armstrong. Martin O'Neill, and then offside, McElroy and Armstrong. Burns. Stewart to McGrain. Robertson on the touchline outside him. Sturrock against McClelland, and he gets the throw-in. Archibald for Hartford. And Stewart to try one again, and that was nothing like as good as the one that gave him his goal. Head lifted and leaning back, and it was a poor shot. Armstrong under this with Gray. Northern Ireland throw. Hamilton, back heel into the path of McLeish. Burns given a not very good pass, but he shook off two challenges. And this man has really looked very composed and very promising indeed in his first international match. Ooh, cut out by McElroy. McGrain's pass it was. Danger of offside, and it is given. Cochrane backing away, watching the ball, didn't see the defenders, and caught stranded. Stewart's pass cut out by McClelland. Cochrane. Pass found Hamilton on his heels. McLeish to Hartford. Robertson. Martin O'Neill. Northern Ireland getting their share of the ball now, but still not really making chances to trouble Thompson in the Scottish goal. Out he comes to collect that rebound off McGrain. One of the men he'll be aiming for. And indeed it is. There was a real battle there between Chris Nicholl and Archibald. And eventually Nicholl back to Pat Jennings. Ten minutes to go to half-time, and if Northern Ireland could turn some of this pressure into a goal now, we'd have a good battle on our hands in the second half. They've got a free kick here for Miller holding his man down. Jimmy Nicholl. Martin O'Neill against Gray, and he's turned him. Cross picked up by McGrain and put out for a corner. Near post for the Scottish skipper. Hartford on the far post, and here McElroy to take the corner. Armstrong waiting in the middle with Stewart. And the outswinger comes over. And McLeish beaten in the air by Chris Nicholl. Miller got ahead to it, and it's whacked away. Burns. Archibald. Sturrock to his left. Burns with Hartford square of him. Burns thinking about a shot, and in the end didn't really play either a shot or a cross. Nicholl. Armstrong was caught by Gray, and that's a free kick. I'm bound to say that that bright opening by Scotland seems to have dissipated itself. Northern Ireland have taken more of a grip in midfield. It's a much more even game, but not a great deal happening in the 6-yard area. McLeish. McClelland. Hamilton's knocked down. McGrain picks it up. Robertson. Stealing it away and getting it back. Grain to Archibald. Stewart. Hartford, Archibald. Now it's Scotland's turn to be forced backwards by good covering and closing down of space by the Irishmen. Finding their way out in more promising fashion now, Scotland. Gray, Hartford going for the return pass, but the space wasn't there. He's got the ball though from the rebound. Archibald back for Stewart to try another one. There was a deflection, and that took the pace off the ball. Stewart's shot looked a good one, but the deflection meant there was no trouble for Jennings. Nickel, Miller to Gray and on to Burns. Jimmy Nickel with Northern Ireland's throw to Chris Nickel. Hamilton jumping, but not high enough. Grain, long, but maybe too long. No, Sturrock is there, and will make a chase of this, trying to pull back Nickel, who was shielding the ball all the way back to Jennings. Chris Nickel, Jimmy Nickel. Armstrong's header. Hamilton. Cochrane just on the penalty spot, just behind him Armstrong. Low cross, knocked away for an Irish throw. Martin O'Neill, good hook across. And McGrain made an important header then. Cochrane and Armstrong both lurking behind him. Nelson. Oblique angle in, and offside Hamilton. Billy Hamilton, sweat staining his shirt, socks down around his ankles, but that's very much his normal style. Five minutes from half-time, and Scotland holding their 1-0 lead, but less convincingly than they were. Nickel. Armstrong, McElroy. McClelland was on a run and calling, but McElroy either didn't see him or thought he couldn't find him. So it's Martin O'Neill to try to seek the way through. Looking for a 1-2 here with Armstrong. Armstrong trying to get round McLeish, but he won't do it like that. And Thompson was quick to come out to meet the back pass. So there was no chance for McClelland to get in. Sturrock. Got room here to cross. In low, and Archibald was prepared to chase that, but John O'Neill got a foot in first, and it's a corner to Scotland. Not quite sure who should take it. Sturrock goes into the middle, and Tommy Burns comes trotting over to take the kick. Archibald waiting, Stewart there too, and Burns to take the outswinger, just hitting it in fact low, and turn back now for Hartford. Gray, Hartford again, and Martin O'Neill doing his defensive stint, and then John O'Neill and Jennings. push by Hamilton on McLeish. And Frank Gray to take the free kick. Sturrock wanting it wide. Gray and McLeish have thoughts of their own. Robertson is the man who is free on that far touchline, but it's a 50-yard pass for Gray, and he opts for the short one to Burns. He was a bit lucky to get that throw. Sturrock, and he looks for the wide ball to change the angle and finds McGrain. Doing a good stifling job, but not actually finding much penetration themselves. So it's beginning to bog down a little bit in midfield. Perhaps Northern Ireland can show us something from this free kick. We're less than 2 minutes from half-time. It's McClellan, number 14, 11 is Hamilton. Nelson runs over it for McElroy to take the kick. McClellan comes, brushes his head, and Cochrane had the pace. And that certainly upset Gray, who battles away and, in fact, is fouled by Cochrane and gets the free kick. But he was caught asleep there, Frank Gray. Cochrane nipping past him. Hartford, got a very good pass, but Martin O'Neill couldn't do anything with it. Hartford got the chance to win it back, but couldn't do so, and it's now Jimmy Nicholl. Armstrong far post and calling. It was meant for him. Behind him, Cochrane. And McLeish scoops it away with the Scottish defence once again a little hesitant. Robertson. Robertson to Hartford, and Hartford to Burns. Robertson has come across to this side to support, and Burns miskicks. And now it's McElroy. Armstrong, harassed by Miller. And, well, I thought perhaps fouled by Miller, but it's a free kick now to Northern Ireland for a foul on McClellan. Only one fairly brief stoppage in this half, so we're just coming up to the interval. And Robertson trying his luck over on this left side, not finding it very productive. Martin O'Neill. Jimmy Nicholl. And there goes the half-time whistle. Scotland, who started so brightly and so much more positively than they played at Swansea and took the lead with a goal from Ray Stewart, have found themselves pinned back in the second stage of this first half. But they go in leading by 1-0. We've got more action to come for you from here at Hampden Park, and also highlights of the big game being played in West Germany tonight, where the exciting Brazilians are the visitors. Join us again in a few moments. Thank you. Stirring traditional entertainment at Hampden. This wouldn't be quite the same without them. So 45 minutes remaining of Northern Ireland's season in the Home International Championship. Their other two games having collapsed underneath them because of England Wales's refusal to go to Belfast. And here they trail by a goal to Scotland. Robertson back to Burns. Rather, Miller back to Burns. Gray back to Burns, and Burns forward. And now it's Gray again. Burns. Gray. Finds McGrain. Robertson immediately makes himself available on the near touchline and plays the first time pass up towards Hartford. Nelson's header. Now Robertson to bring a bit of control and order, but offside against Sturrock. Mr. Partridge keeps them going. Sturrock again. McGrain, back heel perhaps. Poor pass, and Cochrane steals it. McElroy, out to Jimmy Nicholl. Sure that in the Irish dressing room at half-time, Billy Bingham will have been full of praise for the containing job that Northern Ireland have done, but will be looking for more pace as they break up. At the moment, they're defending against Hartford. And Burns. Far post is Archibald. And Gray comes in with what I suspect was going to be a shot. And Jennings picks up. Chris Nicholl. Hartford. Miller to McGrath. Robertson. Always eager for the ball, Robertson. Playing it down into the space for Sturrock to come across. Chris Nicholl did his job. Nelson is going to take the throw, but not from there. Up to Hamilton, but it was Miller's header. Robertson to Sturrock. McGrain. Passing that was so accurate and impressive in the opening quarter of an hour, letting Scotland down now. Good chase there by Archibald, but the pass from Nicholl to Jennings was looking safe. Gray under this. Jimmy Nicholl. Looking to come left. And wasn't sure whether he's going for Nelson or Cochrane. Found Nelson, and this is now Cochrane. Looked promising. And he seemed for a moment to be caught in two minds about whether to go for goal or to go for the byline and cross, and ended up not quite achieving either. It was Nelson, Cochrane, McClelland. Cochrane again with McElroy outside him. McGrain stood his ground and timed the tackle well. Hartford. Burns free square to his left. And there, with a fine ball, Archibald. And Archibald's shot makes it 2-0 with Jennings. Well, whether he slipped, I don't know, but it didn't seem to me to be the classic Jennings style of goalkeeping. But credit to Scotland, who came fast and did very well here. Hartford finding Archibald with a very good ball, and Ireland lacking cover, and then the shot. I think Jennings may have been thinking it was going to be near post, and in it goes. Seen from behind the goal, outside of the foot pass from Hartford. Good control and positive running by Archibald, and just the finish that was required. So that's Steve Archibald getting his third international goal in his 8th game for Scotland. Robertson stopped almost at the byline by Chris Nicholl. 2-0 now to Scotland, and the Hampden fans in better voice. Stewart, the scorer of the first goal, and now Robertson to take the corner. Sturrock couldn't get through. McElroy. Robertson to Hartford, Hartford to Archibald, he was onside, Hartford, and he's put it wide, and that was a gaping goal. I think they really couldn't believe it. Hartford, and maybe Archibald should have taken it here, but the ball ran up off his boot, and he then tried to set it up for Hartford, who missed. I think Hartford thought he'd done his job when he put it on Archibald's foot and may not have been expecting to have to complete the move himself. Northern Ireland rocked by this opening from Scotland in the second half. We've only been playing just over 6 minutes and caught a little bit with their cover and their concentration awry and have paid the penalty. They're rather lucky that it's not 3 goals they're down. His header, and he goes as far as Cochrane. Turned back by McElroy to Nelson. Hamilton stretching out for this. And crossing well. Armstrong couldn't get in on it. Hamilton's cross, curling, but couldn't find Armstrong. Still to see the best of Billy Thompson. Jimmy Nicholl, Armstrong, the support from McElroy, and outside him Martin O'Neill, in the end allowed McLeish to get in and knock the ball out for a throw. Jimmy Nicholl. And Nicholl going on to that header, but Mr. Partridge has blown for a free kick. McElroy fouled. And Chris Nicholl coming forward to see if his 6'2" will tell in the penalty area. Up they go. Well out. And now on the break, Scotland through Burns. Archibald to the left. Sturrock through the middle, and on this side Robertson, and Scotland are even-handed against the Irish defence. In early, Sturrock's flick, but Nicholl flicks it away. Hartford, can he hold it, find support? Stewart, space is beginning to close down, and Stewart's pass, and that was a trip by Robertson, and so it's a free kick to Northern Ireland. Disappointing pass there from Ray Stewart, who perhaps isn't really as effective in midfield as he is at fullback. A very mixed international baptism. On Saturday played half at right back and the other half at left back, now in midfield. Here's Miller against Armstrong, and a catch for Thompson. McClelland. Jimmy Nicholl. Hamilton. The cross was looking for McElroy or McClelland, but fell behind them. And so Hartford. And again there is space for Scotland. Bad pass from Hartford, easily cut out by Nelson. Armstrong against Gray. Tried him for pace and failed. Gray did well, matched Armstrong all the way, and as he turned to play the pass back to Thompson, Armstrong fouled him, and that's why the free kick has been given. No pressure now on Scotland, a 2-goal margin, and a chance for them really to excite their fans and win back some of the support which their performance at Swansea on Saturday cost them. Jimmy Nicholl is going to take it. Hamilton's run, taking Miller, and it's Hamilton he finds, header down, and then the ball hooked out of play by Stewart. Hamilton did well there in spite of the attentions of Miller. McClelland with the throw, and it's a good long one. McElroy, touch from Hartford, and Sturrock had to chase his own bad control, retrieve the ball. Now it's Archibald. McGrain supporting, Stewart dropping in to allow McGrain to go forward. And offside against Sturrock, who made his break just a fraction of a second too quickly. But Paul Sturrock, in his first full game for Scotland, has enjoyed himself, shown his pace, really made a good impression. Green, Robertson to Hartford, and Sturrock, even with his pace, was never going to catch that. Steen on the Scottish bench there, on the right of the picture as we look at it, Scottish manager. McGrain, Archibald, Burns to his left, and Burns hesitated for a moment, and that was enough for Martin O'Neill to get in and check him. If Burns had kept running, he might just have had a first-time shot on. Archibald showing himself. Foul throw. McElroy. Jimmy Nicholl. Cleach with plenty of time. Cochrane coming, but it was only a token chase. Nelson down, but Robertson collects it. Various possibilities for him here. Chooses Burns. Support from Gray. Now the Irish are back at their harassing and closing down, and they've been opened up by a very good pass from McGrain. McGrain's low cross, Archibald's dummy, and cleared by McClelland. Scotland beginning to play the kind of football that will open up defences. Applause for Miller for the back pass. There's some tussling going on there between Archibald and John O'Neill, and the referee penalises the attack. Northern Ireland ball, Nelson to take the throw. Come back a couple of yards. Just a Partridge catching him stealing ground again. Got half an hour to play, and Scotland leading 2-0. Nelson, McElroy, and now Hamilton. Cochrane, Jimmy Nicholl. Jimmy Nicholl has a really thundering shot when he lets one go, and I'm sure McLeish will be able to testify to it because he stood in the way. And that'll be Miller's, and now Thompson. Long from Thompson, but O'Neill got it down, but only as far as Robertson. Hartford tried to set it up for Sturrock, but intercepted by John O'Neill. Asa Hartford's pass. Cochrane, McClellan. Nelson over on this touchline with McGrain coming to challenge. Miller surely being pulled back by Armstrong, and that was what Mr. Partridge thought. Lee Miller. Natty lining gloves look like a pair of haddock. With the throw. Martin O'Neill, anxious to inspire his side and giving Cochrane something to run for. Hamilton has gone into the middle, and it's for his head, it's aimed, and it's a good save indeed. And now we know how good Thompson is, because that was a smashing header. Hamilton did really very well there. Cochrane given a good ball to chase from O'Neill. Fine header from Hamilton, and an equally good save from Thompson. Just lost it, but recovered to clutch it. From behind the goal, we can see now just how good a save and how good a header. Did well to recover too. Billy Thompson, his first real save of the game. Now it's Robertson with the throw for Scotland. Cochrane, bit of life back in Northern Ireland, having sensed that perhaps there are goals there to be had. Cochrane certainly charged up a bit and tripped by Burns. It's a free kick. Very worried that nobody is picking up the man out wide. Martin O'Neill. Nelson. And now Cochrane with Chris Nicholl still up in the box. Cochrane's cross. Armstrong couldn't control it. And away comes Robertson. And Danny McGrain, who went down in a heap and stayed down, has got onto his haunches, but is still feeling distinctly uncomfortable. Just down on the edge of the Scotland penalty area. Referee, in fact, has now stopped play. The ball's gone over the touchline, and McGrain can get some attention. Bingham with his hands on his knees. Reason, I suppose, to be a little bit concerned on that Northern Ireland bench. things haven't gone entirely their way. This is incidentally the first time that Ireland have conceded more than one goal since England beat them 5-1 in October '79. McGrain now back in the action, and it's a throw to Northern Ireland. Nicol, Jimmy Nicol. And the shot off target from Cochrane. A lot of Terry Cochrane's appearances for Northern Ireland have been a substitute. In fact, he's won 11 of his 21 caps by coming off the bench. McClelland. There's McLeish going over his man for the header. Free kick to Ireland. McClelland, Cochrane. And Cochrane going for the byline, chased by Gray, and Gray gives away the corner before Cochrane could cross. Nicol on his customary run forward. I don't think that was a rain dance, it was a signal. And a missed kick by McClelland after it had been set up for him by Chris Nicol. Cochrane crosses again, and it goes off Chris Nichol's knee and out for a goal kick. Nicol not accustomed to putting them away with his foot in the 6-yard area. He's there for his height. And the first time when he nodded it down, really did seem a chance, but McClelland completely missed the kick. Nice one-touch passing here by Scotland, but Robertson now, I think, has asked too much of Sturrock. Hamilton, two men outside him. This is Martin O'Neill with Cochrane outside him. Two minds whether to use him, and the outcome is a goal kick. Cochrane's presence there in the end was a bit of an embarrassment for O'Neill. If Cochrane hadn't been there, he might have used the space. Jimmy Nichol's header met by Gray, now Burns. Hartford. And Robertson lurking, and now bringing in McGrain, and McGrain for Stewart, Stewart for Robertson, and down goes Archibald, but no penalty, says the referee. Be a bit of argument about that. Mr. Partridge had a good view of it. Archibald can't believe that it wasn't given, and I can understand it. Let off. This is beginning to go very much Scotland's way, and all the heart-stopping moments tending to be in the Irish penalty area. McGrain. Nelson keeps it in. And Miller was more determined than Armstrong, but and in fact has been given a free kick for backing in by Armstrong. Sturrock seeming to suggest that perhaps he didn't want it. And Robertson complaining that Nelson is less than 10 yards off the ball. And now it's played down into the space for Archibald. They've lured Nelson out of there. Martin O'Neill to Hamilton. Still Hamilton. Now plays it, and plays it well for Cochrane. Cochrane crossing, there's nobody there, he played it too soon, and a misunderstanding, I think, between Miller and Thompson. Whether Thompson called or not, we won't know, but Miller wasn't taking chances and headed out for the corner. But the Irish strikers were slow to get in on what was always likely to be an early cross from Cochrane, who now takes the corner. Couldn't find Chris Nicholls' head again. And we're going to have a substitution for Northern Ireland. We're going to bring on Donaghy from Luton and take off Sammy Nelson. Throw to Scotland. Hartford. And a free kick. Attendance tonight, 22,448. And when you think that back in March it was almost 80,000 for the World Cup qualifying tie between these two countries here. Jimmy Nicholl. McGrain. Robertson. Donaghy unable to prevent him from playing the pass well up to Sturrock. Archibald free beyond the far post, but the pass was too deep. Cochrane. Hartford. Ran out of space, but got the throw in. One for Gray to take. To Hartford. Robertson available. So too is Stewart. Now making a run, so that pass isn't on. McGrain, and now Stewart. Pass came hard, and Stewart couldn't control it. Wrestling match. Hamilton fouled by Miller. The other two are. And there's Donaghy, the Northern Ireland substitute. Good catch by Thompson. Had to come through 2 or 3 players. Determined to make it his. Robertson. Still Robertson. Archibald. Stewart tried to get Robertson through again. Sturrock to McGrain, and now Robertson is in. And Scotland pouring men into the penalty area if Robertson can cross. And it was so nearly an own goal there. But McClellan clears after the ball had been stabbed down by Chris Nicholls. To be fair to him, he took enough weight off the ball that it wasn't going to go over the line, but it was a moment of misunderstanding beyond doubt. And now Scotland again. Good turn by Archibald. Confidence on the ball, but he's looking for support. Finds it from Stewart to shoot. And when he pulls that foot back, he really does give it the hammer. Tremendous power behind this shot from Ray Stewart. The ball bending away and outside. we've a quarter of an hour left. Scotland leading Northern Ireland 2-0. Hartford. Teams due to meet again in October in another World Cup qualifying game. That one will be in Belfast. Miller, and he may have created trouble here, but he did enough to stop Hamilton. And indeed, I think Hamilton may even have been adjudged to have fouled Miller. Mr. Partridge waves Thompson to keep play going. Donaghy. Chris Nicol to Jimmy Nicol. Martin O'Neill. Cochrane. Attacking Gray. Aimed to go outside him, and Gray missed his kick, but recovered very well. Robertson. Sturrock. Archibald. Robertson. 3 in the box. Robertson has McGrain now behind him, but he doesn't need him. Goes for the shot, and it was a bad one. Took his time, he was very patient, very confident, opened up the shooting angle, and then was wild with the shot. Should at least have tested Jennings. Armstrong. Jimmy Nicol. Armstrong has gone belting through the middle. McElroy, Armstrong. Will Cochrane catch it? Yes, but then put out for a throw. Stewart getting in to cover. Martin O'Neill. McElroy. Jimmy Nicol. McClelland available, number 14. And Hamilton. Pushed off it by Martin O'Neill. And O'Neill got to the byline and crossed. Ball well cut out by Thompson. Showed very confident hands there as O'Neill got to the byline. Offside gives Northern Ireland a free kick. It's a foul. And Martin O'Neill takes the kick quickly to find Cochrane. Cochrane against Gray with support from Nicol. McElroy. Armstrong. And still Armstrong. But will he get the shot on target? Yes, but not with much power. Archibald. Very confident skill on the ball. Burns, who's had a nice, quiet, settling-in game for Scotland. Nothing spectacular, but has looked a thoroughbred player. And that's a good angle cross! Could so easily have been an own goal, but credit to John O'Neill, who did very well to knock that past the far post. See just how close it was to the post from this angle, I suspect. Safe enough. McGrain. Miller. It's over the top, and Jennings will have it. Good throw out that sets Northern Ireland going forward. Martin O'Neill, Cochrane the other player in the picture. This is Cochrane, number 7. Ten minutes to go now. against three defenders. Sturrock, maybe thinking of going on his own, and then showed too much of the ball, and John O'Neill knocked it away, but only as far as Robertson. Stewart coming in, and Burns may well have come into the corner of his eye line and put him off so that the shot was off target. Gray, that was Jimmy Nicholl. Cochrane, Jimmy Nicholl again. Nothing over on this side of the pitch. Northern Ireland all concentrated on the right. Thompson can afford to take his time. Grain, Archibald, Grain again, Hartford prepared to go, and McGrain saw Robertson, and now Robertson's left foot missed the far post by quite a long way, but so easily could have gone into the path of Hartford. Robertson completely free. Shot was off target and didn't find a man. John Robertson. Offside given. Donaghy. And Robertson back to Thompson. Gray. Well, it's been a bit of a patchy performance by Scotland, but when it's been good, it really has been very good. And I'm sure the Scots fans have seen enough here to feel that they can go to Wembley to play England on Saturday with a certain degree of optimism. They've had enough chances to have scored more than the 2 goals they've got. And teams are always encouraged when they're making chances. Here's McGrain to see if he can make another one. Miller. Stewart to Burns. Hartford. Robertson with McGrain willing to make the overlap once again. By the time the pass had arrived, though, he'd been closed down by Martin O'Neill, but he was still in there battling. Armstrong. McElroy sprinting ahead of him. Here's Hamilton, and he has support from Donaghy, but I wonder if he knows it. I think he probably didn't. He's found McElroy. And McElroy lets the shot go, but it hit Miller. The back heel from Hamilton was meant for Donaghy, but didn't find him. Robertson. The tiredness beginning to show now. It's been a mild and somewhat sapping evening, I suspect. Robertson for McGrain. Stewart. Hartford. 5 minutes to go as Stewart looks out on the right touchline for McGrain. McGrain becoming more and more an auxiliary attacker in this last quarter of the game. And Sturrock turning well on the cross. That ball is still in play, and now it's gone out. Paul Sturrock. Stewart, Burns, a bit hard, and Sturrock couldn't catch it. McElroy, Donaghy. Wild miss-hit clearance across his own penalty area, but Chris Nicol has played it out well to find Cochrane. Jimmy Nicol going on the overlap, and Cochrane knew it and moved in to make the space for him. And now Nicol plays the first-time cross. Didn't reach Hamilton. Miller did his job. Cleland wide for Martin O'Neill. Had to hit it first time, the ball was drifting hard, and indeed had crossed the line. Stewart, and then Sturrock, and now Archibald. And certainly the way the front men in the midfield have linked up from time to time has been a great improvement for Scotland from the performance they gave on Saturday. That was Robertson's cross. Hartford. Stewart. McGrain. Robertson. Well, Archibald has shown very good control at times in this game, but there it did let him down. Pass played in hard, and the first touch lost him the ball. Scotland got a corner out of it, but it perhaps should have been more. Robertson now to Stewart. Robertson again. They're all queuing up in the hope of getting on the end of a cross. Even McLeish was forward, but Robertson has got them another corner. There's McLeish to see if he can get on to the end of something. Can McGrain or Robertson supply it? Perhaps Stewart can. No. This is Jimmy Nicol who's crossed to the other side of the pitch. McGrain back to Thompson. Well, it looks as though we've probably seen all the goals here, and the question now that the Scots fans will be wanting answered is, can they take some with them to Wembley on Saturday? Donaghy. Cochrane. Hamilton. Hamilton now on the edge of the penalty area. This is Armstrong, O'Neill rather, trying to turn, has to use Cochrane, and that's the final kick of the match, and Scotland have refound their pride, given themselves new hope with goals in the second half from Steve Archibald and in the first half from Ray Stewart. A deserved victory by Scotland, beating Northern Ireland at Hampden Park by 2-0.